Welcome to InspireHER on the Achievement Channel, Nigeria's first and only 100% motivational TV station, broadcasting from the School of Eloquence studio right here in Ikoyi, Lagos. I'm your host, Onome Igugu. Growth is rarely a straight line. It's a series of transitions, and as women climb higher in their careers, businesses, and personal lives, the challenge isn't just reaching the top. It's staying grounded once you get there. Moving up requires us to step into unfamiliar territories, and that can be intimidating. And today's episode is titled Navigating Transitions, Staying Grounded While Moving Up. And joining me for this high-level conversation are two phenomenal women who have mastered the art of sustainable growth. We have ESV Adetoun Otepola, a visionary real estate expert and the founder and CEO of Solid Foundation Group, with a dynamic career spanning over 3 decades. She serves on the board of FIAPC Nigeria and is the driving force behind the Home Ownership Made Easy program. She's an international speaker and a lead business strategist. We also have Madam Esther Evbodaghe, a seasoned finance professional and entrepreneur with over 20 years of experience in the banking sector. As a board member at the Rehoboth Microfinance Bank, a dedicated mentor and an ordained deaconess, she brings a wealth of knowledge on building financial and personal structures that sustain long-term success. All right, so welcome to InspireHER, and today we're talking staying grounded while moving up. When Madam Adetoun, she walked into the studio, she talked about being so busy, so many calls, and it just aligned with the conversation we are having, talking about sometimes it's good, sometimes it's distraction, but I'm happy she said it because that's how we're going to move with this conversation today. How are you, Madam?
I'm very well, thank you.
And how are you, Madam Esther? You needed to have seen Madam Esther during her 60th birthday. Oh my God. She was beautiful. You need to see the pictures. It was amazing. It was amazing. So and happy birthday to her again, Madam Esther. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. So we're talking staying grounded while moving up, and we know how we move up in our careers, in our personal lives, in our businesses. And the big question is, how do you ensure that as we move up in our career, as we move up in our businesses and in our personal life, how do we ensure that we do not lose focus? Let me start with Madam Esther. She's ready for me, as usual.
That's why we're here. Okay, you see, this is a very interesting topic, I must say. And I always say to people that, or tell myself rather, that one thing that is constant in life is change. So navigating transition is part of life.
Yes.
That's the way I see it. And when life shifts under my feet, what I do is I remind myself who I am without the title, the role, or the situation. And for people who like to hold on to positions and title, I think this is also very important for them, because I always say on this show that position can change.
True.
Title can change. So they are really not relevant. So transitioning comes with a lot of distraction. It comes with a lot of noise. Expectations, deadlines, you know, fear, and all that. And if you are not careful, you can lose yourself in the process. You can forget yourself. So I remember when I was transiting from an old generation bank to a new generation bank, a bank that has spent 10 years. I was familiar with the environment, the people, the culture, and it felt like home. But at a point, I started outgrowing that same place that I thought I would retire, and I needed to transition, you know, to a new generation bank, and it came with a lot of uncertainty, you know, new deadlines, new expectations, and I asked myself so many questions. The what if, and if I fail, what if I'm not good enough as I thought, and all that. But when I joined the bank, I blended. So transitioning is a period where you need to be focused, because if you are not focused, you start chasing direction instead of anchoring in purpose. So at that point, what I do is I pause and I ask myself a few grounded questions, you know. So I ask myself, this change I'm about to make, does it move me closer to who I want to become? Or does it set me apart? You know, then I ask myself, what is important in this change? I ask myself, how does this make me better? You know, and I ask myself, what are those things I'm not willing to compromise? So when I'm able to answer these questions very well, then I know that I'm fine. You see, transitioning is good, but we have to be careful when we are transiting.
Strategic.
So that's just what I say. I think I allow Adetoun to say something.
Thank you very much. So for me, I think one of the best things that can help us, that has helped me, is that you have to have clarity. You need to define what purpose is to you. You know, without purpose, anyone would derail. And for me, I have thought about my understanding of life is that we're in, you know, life is a stage, and every single person has a part to play. And God, being the author, reserves the right to even change the scene. So nobody has promised anybody that life will just be so smooth, you know, that everything will just go on a straight line. There will be detours, there will be valleys, there will be the highs and the lows. So in transitioning, you know, you have to understand what is purpose and what season you are in. It's like having anybody that has been born on this earth went through 3 trimesters, you know, the first, the second, and the third, and everything had to do with growth patterns. So that's how even God laid out to be. So transitioning comes with a lot of, you know, you have to understand purpose. You need to be very disruptive. One of the examples that resonates with me so much is the pandemic. Nobody expected it. It just happened suddenly. I mean, some people survived it, but that has shaped our culture. It's shaped the way we live our lives. We never, I mean, a couple of people didn't value where they lived, but now it's so valued because you know that you can work and do a lot of things from home. Even at that time, I lost my dad, for example. Well, I've loved to do a grandiose ceremony and all that, but the situation at hand did not permit us. People can now do meetings virtually. The world is a global village. Everything is changing. And every 5 years, there is a paradigm shift in technology. So that means that we have to learn to be disruptive. So things don't always have to go the way we plan. So very important. Focus. I mean, clarity first. Then stay focused and determined. That's how to manage transition. Then another thing is you need to speak some truth to yourself. Do some evaluation. Where are you? What are the facts? Where do you want to be? Where are you and what do you need to get to where you want to go to? Even in terms of your associations, anything you do consistently for 21 days becomes a habit. So you also need to do some evaluation to know how you can better position yourself. Transition sometimes comes as a disruption. Sometimes you are prepared for it. Sometimes it just happens. Sometimes life just makes a demand. But anything that comes your way, trust me, you have the capacity. You have it already in you to be able to, you know, to be able to forge ahead. And also know that failure is not fatal. You determine whether it becomes a failure or not. When somebody falls, you determine whether you want to get up or not. You can sit down, evaluate. You can even cry about the situation, or you have at least the grace to move on.
Interesting. So when this transition occurs, how then do we tell the difference between a distraction and an opportunity? Because sometimes when certain things come our way, we're just like, oh, this is the next opportunity. And a clear example is when you talked about the New Generation Bank and where you were working at that point in time. How do we, because I'm sure some people are in a certain path, whether in their career or business, and they are wondering, is this really the opportunity I've been looking out for, or probably the distraction? So for you, how were you able to tell that this was an opportunity and not a distraction?
You see, I mean, distraction and opportunity for growth sometimes may look the same, but they are actually not the same, because they are both exciting, they are urgent and even important.
Yes.
But the truth is, if you are careful enough to slow down and listen, then you find out that they are not the same. Distraction pulls you apart. It pulls you away from yourself. But a real opportunity draws you deeper into yourself. Distraction comes with a lot of noise. It's loud. And it will tell you, act now, or you lose out or lose everything. You know, quick validation, instant results. You, at times, you might even appear to be busy, but at the same time, strangely empty. It's like a rat race running up and down, no direction. You'd never arrive. But real opportunity is quieter. It's stronger. And sometimes it can even look scary. But that doesn't mean it's wrong. It's because it stretches you. It requires you to be patient. And sometimes it will demand a version of you that you never even know existed. So if you are confused, you are unsure, then you pause and ask yourself a few questions. Like, this decision I'm about to make now, does it pull me further away from what I want to build, who I want to become, or does it pull me closer to my goal? Then you ask yourself, this decision I'm about to take now, this change, will it matter in another 1 year, or is it just urgent? Then you ask yourself, this thing I'm choosing now, am I choosing it because it aligns or because it's available? So you don't jump at every open door. True. It's not every open door that draws you closer to your goal. Some, they are there to test your focus. So that is why you have to be careful. Don't pursue everything that shines. That will just be my submission.
Interesting. How about you?
Okay, so I believe that distraction and discernment, one of the major things that we need to be clear. I mean, I think that one would need clarity. You have to. I'm very strong on purpose. You know, I mean, everybody can have, like we have these mugs in front of us. People use them for different things. You know, it's a mindset. This is what I want to use mine for. So life is about choices.
True.
So you need to have very clear definition of where you want to be and what you're doing. And then you also making this journey between distraction and opportunity is also about your values. You know, a lot of people are in survival mode. We just need money. We just want to get there.
That's true.
And so in the long run, they are not building for legacy. They're just doing it for now. It's so, I mean, it's reflecting in every area of our lives now, in services, goods, and some areas that you don't even expect it to happen. For example, in the health sector, I'm not saying that about anybody, but if you were somebody that for humanity's sake you went into that sector, there's certain things that you shouldn't do. I am in the real estate space. I mean, we hear of houses that, you know, they went down, the house just collapsed because people didn't take certain steps. They just needed the money. Everybody's going into development. That's where the money is. And then you find yourselves there. So that's the difference for me between distraction and opportunity. Another thing is, yes, opportunity sometimes is hidden. You know, you may have to really look. So it could come with a lot of noise. And there's an argument that says that money is inside, you know, waste. Is inside, I don't want to use a crude word now. But, so you need to be able to discern and know where it is. As a matter of fact, opportunities are in solving problems. You know, if you're a visionary, you're an innovator, and you realize that, oh, certain things are being done in certain ways, and there's a need for a level of disruption to get people to where they are. You're creating value, so therefore there's going to be an exchange. It may be unpopular too. So it's the ability to recognize, you know, to say clarity, and then what exactly would you, I mean, where do you want to be? For example, Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, I remember one day I listened to, and he was saying that ideas are not fully formed. You just start, it looks rough, it looks untidy, but as you take certain steps. So it's, for me, basically, it's about clarity and your values. And then in asking questions or even getting to do it when there's an opportunity, you need to know your tribe. There's certain people around you that you should have, that you know that, I mean, let me call them like your football team, maybe a team of 11. It could be 3, it could be 4. But people that you know that when you sit down, you strategize, synergy, collaboration, a lot of things comes out of just more than one person. You can't know it all the time. We all have a blind spot. So you should have great thinkers around you, the kind of company that helps you to go to the next level.
Interesting. Yeah. All right, we need to go on a short break. When we come back, we will continue this conversation. Do stay tuned.
Thank you.
All right, so welcome back. We're still continuing our conversation, staying grounded while moving up. And right now, I want to start the conversation because the truth is, I think a lot of people experience it, if not everyone, but I feel that it gets to a point in your life, in your career, in your personal life, whether it's business, whatever it is, that you feel stuck, like you've gotten to that point and you're not sure of which direction to take. My question is, how then do you ensure that you are moving towards your goal, what you intended for yourself from the onset, whether it's your career, whether it's your business? When we get to that point in life, how then do we move towards our goal?
What I'll say is that start by keeping promise, keeping at least a small promise to yourself every single day. So one thing you can do is you speak up as much as you can. Keep one small promise to yourself every single day. And that promise can just be as small as speaking up in rooms where you have kept quiet in the past. Then another thing you can do is you set boundaries that you've been avoiding. That's another thing that you can do. Then another thing is learn to say no without over-explaining. That also helps. Then I would also say try as much as you can to learn something new every day that can stretch your mind a little. So for me, that's just what I do.
All right, thank you so much. Adam.
Okay, so what comes to mind is, imagine you're going on a cruise, you're going on maybe you're going on 30 miles or something and the road is smooth, but there are times that there are bumps, and so you need to slow down, and sometimes it's so smooth you cruise. So when you come to a point where you're feeling stuck, I think it's a time for self-evaluation. Sometimes we need to slow down. So when you slow down and you evaluate and think of, where you are and what could be. I believe in not being too hard on myself. I believe that you should celebrate your small wins. Your life is in seasons, and then you're not a failure. That's one thing that is sure. I am strong on the fact that you need to celebrate yourself. You need to accept yourself. There's nothing that will ever happen to you that's ever happened to anybody else on the face of the earth. And so failure is not fatal. If you feel that you failed in a certain area, it's an opportunity to do it better. It's like you failed an exam and you need to repeat. Another thing is we need to be very conscious of comparison. Sometimes when you're comparing yourselves with everybody else around you, you're going to put yourself on a high jump. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know why they're where they are. They could even have their inner struggles that you don't know about. So if you're feeling stuck, you may even need to rest, but don't quit. And in your resting, take time to do what makes you happy, not anything stupid though. And then you can now begin to appraise the situation again. For example, one good example is this. Cars, especially the luxury ones, every single year they are rebranding. They are doing something new.
Yes.
iPhone, for example, they've done something new to make it easier to manage. So it's an opportunity for you to innovate. It's an opportunity for you to do it differently. If you need to acquire a skill, please do. And of course, you need encouragers around you, people that will speak into your life and say, oh boy, this is the least that you will ever be. Sometimes you need to listen, maybe even if it's not a mentor that is intentional. There's some mentors that are afar. And you need to watch your circle and create the right atmosphere around you. For example, this morning, Before I came out, I listened to Joel Austin. I just stumbled across it and was saying, you are the best version of you. You need to celebrate yourself. And I felt, I was, in fact, I was like on a sprint. I was like, wow, Tom, you're doing good. I celebrated myself the next morning. I did a dance for a few minutes. I mean, the truth is, nobody has universal appeal. Everybody in the world cannot celebrate you. Everybody cannot. Some would, out of jealousy, say negative things about you.
That's true.
And, you know, most people are not wise enough to listen or to even dig and find out what happens. So it's about creating the right atmosphere about you, around you, having the right narrative. Sometimes you need to speak to yourself. Life can be very beautiful. So it's like a blank page. And then you have a pencil, you can actually create your colors and your design.
All right. As we wrap the conversation up, how do we stay true to ourselves, to our personal values as we advance in our careers?
What I'll say to that is you define your non-negotiables. There are things that you know that no matter what or come what it, you cannot, you can't, play with those things. For instance, like your integrity, honesty, balance, respect, and all that. So if you are clear on that, taking decision under pressure will become easy. That's one thing. Then another thing is you use your values as decision filter. Before you say yes, ask yourself this simple question. This decision I'm about to take, does it conflict with my core? If it conflicts with your core values, then no level of success will feel right. That is why I always use Ibuku Awoshika in this show as my example. That is one woman that does not joke with integrity. She will tell you, if this business deal I'm about to do, if it conflicts with my value, I'd rather lose it than lose my name. So that is very important. Then prioritize what truly matters. Everything can be urgent, but it's not important. So you need to learn to prioritize. Then set boundaries and honor those boundaries. Boundaries are good, they are not rude, they are a way of protecting your peace. Then, as much as you can, redefine success in your own terms. Define what success means to you. Because success can mean anything or many things to many people. So define what it means to you. Then align yourself with people who think positively. And you must also accept that alignment will cost you. And check in with yourself regularly. So that's what I'll say on that.
Well, so in staying true to yourself, I think we need to think generational. Goodwill is currency. So if there are certain doors that you can open just by virtue of the values that you have. And also, if we think of our children and anything about us, there are places that when your name is mentioned in the room, you should be able to open doors, and vice versa. Staying true to yourself has to do with your personal values, and like you said, defining what success really means to you. For some people, it's just about money. For some people, it's about legacy. And for me, legacy is more important. Nobody is perfect. We have blind spots, and sometimes there are mistakes that we genuinely make by virtue of the information available to us, but that doesn't mean we should stay there. In our dealings, in our relationships with people, we need to be very true to ourselves. A lot of people are also very fake. But on the other hand, I don't blame them. They're only exhibiting what they know. Because I went to a function about 2 days ago, and if somebody sitting next to me said she didn't want somebody to sit next to her because she feels that the person could dress better. And I said, I'm not going to judge her because you don't know where she's coming from. People have gone through stuff, and maybe she's trying to come out of whatever it is. And one of the ways she can come out is to make a bold statement. So she's an adult, she wasn't naked. So you need to also, at least allow people be. You can't fully judge anybody. So being true to yourself, the only thing is that you need to at least be strike a balance. In as much as you want to be true to yourself, stay with your own values, but in the midst of it, we need to accommodate other people. Let's not do things that are offensive, to others. So for me, staying true to yourself is very, it's something that you have to be intentional about. The fact being that the world now is in a cup of trembling. There's so much going on, so much uncertainty. There's global meltdown. So there's a tendency for everybody to be the survival mode. I just want to make it. I want to be able to meet basic needs. So before you do, people can do what they are not supposed to. So it still boils down to your personal values and conviction. But having said that, above all, please think legacy. Think beyond yourself, that when you step out of the stage, the seeds you are leaving behind, your children, your organization, your brand, what will be said of it when you're gone?
All right. Thank you so much for coming. We appreciate you both.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. What an incredible, rich conversation we've had. We've learned today that transition is the bridge to your next level, but your core values and the foundation you build are the anchors that keep you from drifting. You don't have to lose your identity to find success. In fact, staying grounded is the only way to truly sustain your growth. To every woman watching, embrace the change. Build your systems and hold on to your why. Your roots determine how high you can grow. And a big thank you to Madam Adetoun and Madam Esther Evbodaghe for sharing their profound expertise and helping us navigate our own paths with greater clarity and strategy. Don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms at Achievement Channel on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Use the hashtag We See Possibilities. My name is Onome Igugu again, and thank you for staying with us.
So please keep watching Achievement Channel to keep learning. Thank you.
My name is Maria Maliko Mohammed, and I'm a professional and personal development professional. Okay, hi, Achievement Channel. Thank you very much for having me.